let's talk to people a little bit about what physical computing is. How about?
That sounds like a good idea.
So the way I usually explain it in class is that, you have a body, and everything you know about the world comes into you through your body, through your ears and your eyes and your senses. And everything you do in the world happens through your muscles and your limbs and, your hands and your feet. And the same is true with computers and electronic devices. They have bodies too. They listen to the world, whether it's through their keyboard or their mouse, or maybe their camera or their microphone. And they affect the world through speakers and lights and motors. And so everything we do with computers or with electronic systems is about the interchange between your body and the device or the computer's body. And, whether we're talking about writing or music or video, or whether we're, controlling mass machines, it's all about that physical interchange. Even virtual reality doesn't happen without a physical interface of some sort, right?
That's right. That's right. I think there's a tendency for technology to kind of converge on a few simple solutions, right? We normalize on the keyboard and the mouse or on the touch screen. And there's so many aspects of the real world, the physical world, that could be included in computation if we knew how to sense them or how to affect them. And physical computing addresses that. It says the world can be more than just a touch screen. You can move something, you can light something up, you can sense motion, you can sense heat, you can sense light. And it makes our interactions more sophisticated and richer, I think.
There's another thing you do too, though, is you're working on something where you're really bridging that gap between data as an abstract thing and the physical world that it comes from, right? In terms of that environmental project you've got going on.
That's right. Yeah. So here's another example of something in my little lab right now. This is a carbon dioxide sensor and a few other sensors as well, and a microcontroller to read those sensors and log the data. And so because I know physical computing and I understand the code and how to interface with these devices well enough, I can now capture data and share it with this volunteer group of citizen scientists around the world for this open source carbon capture project that I'm working on.
And that group's a really interesting group to talk about because, one of the things people often assume when they think about physical computing or when they think about electronics and electrical engineering and programming is that you have to be a technical person to understand it, right? But you're working with people from all kinds of backgrounds in doing that project and in many of your projects, right?
That's right. That's right. And the students that we get at ITP also come from many different backgrounds, often, non-technical. We might have dancers and architects and artists, as well as engineers and computer scientists. And the reason I like this material is it's such a fun way to learn programming. And it's kind of arbitrary stuff anyway. So no one's born knowing it to begin with. Everybody has to learn it somehow. And if you haven't learned a term or an idea yet, it just is because you haven't been exposed to it. And I think anyone can kind of come to it at any stage in their life and learn this material and begin to use it.
That's a really important point. And in fact, you mentioned all the various backgrounds of artists and architects and scientists and so forth. And it really drives home one thing that I think is important to teaching physical computing, which is that everyone is ignorant about something and you can learn it. And that it's not a question of, is this a dumb question? It's a question of, do you know this or not? If you don't know it, you ask. And if you do know it, you share. And that's actually how the whole discipline grows. And I think that sense of curiosity and generosity is really key to making a great class.
Yeah, there's a fun moment whenever we teach the subject, I think, where the beginning of the class is always kind of about the technical details. How do you make this part work? How do you do this one thing? And eventually that starts to become second nature for the students, and they begin to just use this the way a painter might use a paintbrush. And they forget, or they're not thinking about the technical details so much, and they begin to look past that at a big creative idea. And that's a really fun moment to see that happen in a class.
That's the best moment, yeah. And I certainly hope the students that are watching this get a chance to get to that very soon. I'm really looking forward to what they come up with.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait to see what they make.
Well, it's great sharing with you, Jeff, and I'll talk to you soon.
Good to see you, Tom. Take care.
You too. Bye.